the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
.607 Get Up and Go Show. And I have a disclaimer before we even start. I'm firing on 68 cylinders. You know what that means, Bonnie?
That means we should put on our shock absorbers this morning.
Because let me tell you, you're in for a rough ride today, folks. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a good way. Because I have fixed and solved our problem.
Yes, and yesterday was a fairly rough ride. We had a little bit of a
little
turmoil.
That's an understatement. Little.
We had the winds blowing back our sails yesterday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't pretty.
Just a tad bit. Morning, Phil.
Good morning.
How you doing, buddy?
I am doing good.
How's
I'm
life
glad
in-
you got your technical problems fixed there.
Yeah. How's life in Coke world? Oh no! Let me stop right there. I did not say what I just said. Let me rephrase that. How is life in Coca-Cola world? There we go.
So far, so good.
All right.
Yes.
Got to be careful what I say, Bonnie.
Well, last week we learned
think
that
he's a cokehead.
we did learn last week that somebody planted cocaine in a peanut butter jar to ship the cocaine and get the supply there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Phil, how was Mother's Day at the Benfield compound?
It was fairly simple.
Oh,
which
yeah?
was nice.
What'd you do?
I took my wife to a lake and she got to look at alligators.
I lost you. You cut out there.
We got our balloons and flowers and can you hear me?
Yeah, try this again. I think the internet glitched because it's like you went on fast forward. So let's try this again. Rewind. What did you do for the wife on Mother's Day?
I took her to a lake and she got to look at alligators in the lake. Yeah.
Gee, you took your wife to a lake to look at alligators for Mother's Day. What the heck are you thinking?
Did you take her to one of those beautiful lakes like in the middle of Orlando or something where you see a pretty swan once in a while?
No, there's just a lake, with the Everglades or something. No, not really. What we did was I got her flowers and a balloon and a nice car.
And then you took her to the lake and you pushed.
That's the ex-wife.
Oh, wow. But why in God's name would you take Veronique to a lake to look at an alligator?
It was a joke.
Oh,
good Lord, relax.
Okay.
It was just a joke.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
No,
because if you're taking your wife to a lake to look at an alligator, we need to have a serious conversation with Marcel.
It depends on the wife, though. Actually, that would be my kind of Mother's Day. And I would even like to take one of those little airboats across the swamp on safari.
You couldn't get me in an airboat. Sorry. No, not happening.
You don't do that?
No, not happening. But on a serious note, what'd you do for Mother's Day for Veronique?
Once again, a balloon. We got some flowers, and then she went over a friend's house. She went to go pick up a ceiling fan.
Okay,
that's all I know. And
ceiling fan.
Yeah, a ceiling fan.
And what are we doing with the ceiling fan?
Apparently, replacing the one that's in the living room.
Okay,
my wife's always doing something in the house. Upgrading or something like that. So. Okay, and then my daughter wrote her a poem.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of it there?
No, I don't have a
Shame on you. I was going to have you read it on the air.
You should grab it for us for Thursday so we can hear the first few verses at least.
Well, Mother's Day will be down and around the corner by then.
Down and around the corner.
It's still going to be the Mother's Day month. We are still in the month of it.
True.
So it still might work.
True. Yeah. You should have these things readily available.
And then I cooked some pork chops, garlic pepper pork chops
for
and
breakfast,
some macaroni and cheese, and some green beans, and that was for dinner. So there you go.
Okay, dinner, not breakfast.
No, not for breakfast.
Okay,
no.
So I did. I cooked homemade French toast for my wife, and then I cooked her New York strip steaks for dinner, and for lunch, she was on her own.
I've been watching Guy's Grocery Games, and when you mentioned pork chops, it reminded me of it last night. Somebody
Mhm.
made some, like a deep fried pork chops with the crust was some sort of walnut, or of course, Evan, you probably couldn't eat it because it was like it had nuts in the crust sensation where
Okay.
they deep fried it,
All right.
but deep fried in like a walnut
Deep fried
peanutty
nuts.
oil, yeah, and
Okay.
with deep fried pork chops actually,
Okay.
and they were
All right.
cut into little pieces, and
Okay.
they make things quality on that show that look really good, but they go really fast
Okay.
like speed demons,
All right.
so it's hard to jot down the recipe.
So yesterday,
Anything deep fried's awesome.
I went
Yeah.
out in my garage and I ventured into my deep freeze. I wanted to see what I had in the freezer, and I didn't realize how deep the deep freeze was.
Did you fall in?
Just about.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like
I was digging, the wife and I went out and like, do we have this or do we have that? And I was digging down, like way down in there.
yeah.
And I didn't realize I've got like 9 loaves of bread in my deep freeze.
Oh, what a find, right? Was that like a good find
Yeah,
for
that
you?
was a good find. Didn't find any toilet paper in there though.
It's like that lost $20 bill that
Yeah.
you find deep down in that old
No, but
pair
on
of jeans.
a serious note, though, I did find an extra loaf of bread way at the bottom, and then I found some other things that I didn't even know I had these things. That I bought these things.
Yeah.
They were at the
Yeah.
very bottom of the deep freeze. I'm like, wow. I'm like, next thing I know, I'm going to find a body or something.
Oh,
Man,
Was there a body in there?
no, definitely not.
Marcel didn't come by and say, "Hey, I need you to take care of this for me and put
No,
this away for me."
no, definitely not.
No.
Definitely
Okay.
not. Definitely not. So, Bonnie, what are you planning on doing over the next couple of days? Because I know the beaches are open,
Mm-hmm.
but now you can't go to Martin County Beach.
I know I'm going to have to hit the St. Lucie County
You have
beach,
to go
I
in
guess.
St. Lucie County because
Or maybe I'll pull off one of these if I try to get to Martin County. Do you know who I am?
well, you know what you could do? You could tell them you work for WSTU and give
Yeah.
our address here.
That's right.
And you're doing a report on for the radio on how crowded the beach is or how crowded the beach is not. And I'll just give you like a fake microphone and you can be the reporter on the street.
That is true.
Wear your bikini and you're all good to go.
I wonder, we'll have to ask the sheriff
Sweet.
this morning if maybe if you're out of county now and say if you go on the weekday, if they have a problem with that, if you're not a Martin County resident.
Doesn't matter. It's 7 days a week.
It is okay.
7 days a week. You can't go to the beach unless you live in Martin County.
See, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought it might be a weekend deal since the weekend would be clustered.
7 days a week. But I'm going to ask the sheriff today when I get him on the phone. I'm going to say, hey, Sheriff Snyder, can I get a media credential so I can go to the beach and
Yeah.
discuss and talk about things? How does that work? How will that work for me?
But
Yeah.
And that's
you know what
actually
they
a
were-
very valid question.
You know what they were doing in Stewart? I was working in Stewart over the weekend, and they were actually checking IDs. You couldn't go to the beach unless you lived in Stewart.
Yeah, well, you
So,
have to have an
they
ID
weren't-
because Stewart's Martin
Yeah.
County, Phil.
Yeah, you had to have a Stewart address or Martin County address,
Right.
And there were people being turned away.
Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going
so-
to get my label maker out, and I'm going to put a label on my driver's license.
So
And-
you're gonna have fake ID. Is that what you're gonna
No, no, I'm just altering my driver's license. That's all. I'm going to put the station
Altering.
address down. I'm going to alter the address, and actually, you know what I'll do is I'll make a here's what I'll do. I'll find a really high grade color printer, and I'll
Yeah.
make a photocopy of my driver's license,
Yeah.
and then I'll take that and scan it and put it in Photoshop,
There you go.
and then I'll do a little editing, and
Paper
then
mache.
right? And then after I do my editing, I'm going to take it to my laminating machine. I'm going to laminate it. Then I'm going to put it in my wallet and stick it in behind the plastic covering. And then I'm
Arts
just
and
going to,
crafts here.
then I'm going to just show it to the deputy
Yeah,
and hope that works. And probably I'll
Yeah,
say,
good
Bonnie,
luck."
can you bail me out of jail?
I'll be coming to try. That's for sure. I've got another idea. Here's what else you could do. You could go to the north. You could go to the north of the Stewart Beach and maybe hit one in St. Lucie County,
Uh-huh.
and then just swim back down to a Martin County beach. And if you swim
Oh,
in,
no, that's a good idea.
He'll be shark bait by that point. so.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. Shark bait. Yeah. Well. Wow. Okay. Phil, you ever heard of Blind Creek Beach?
No, never heard of Blind Creek Beach.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
look it up. You don't want to go
Okay.
there. I don't think you'd want to go there.
Is that round here?
Yeah, it's up in Port St. Lucie.
Is it?
Hey, you don't want to go there,
I've
Bonnie.
never been there
Trust
either.
me. I would not send you to Blind Creek Beach.
No,
You would hate me forever.
I've never heard of that name.
You want to know what kind of beach it is?
I could only imagine.
Clothing optional.
Optional. Yeah.
It's clothing optional beach in Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, I don't want to go there because I don't want people pointing and laughing as I'm walking down the
Yeah,
beach.
could you imagine that? How people can go to a beach like that out in public?
Well, you could go there and maybe just kind of wear your mask.
And that's it. Well, you need if you're a girl,
Or
you
your
need
underwear,
three
like you do.
masks.
Some people wear their
If
mask.
you're a girl, you need 3 masks. If you're a guy, you need 1.
Why?
Oh Lord.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
It's 6:17 and we're
My.
talking about Blind Creek Beach this early in the morning. Okay. Bonnie, maybe you should just broadcast remotely from there.
yeah. I think there's a place up in Wisconsin too, up on the Wisconsin River, and it's called Mazelmanie.
Mesomaney?
Mazelmanie.
Yeah.
Is that a clothing optional place?
And that is another one.
Is
where-
it really?
Yeah, I've never
Okay.
been there. Like I've only heard of people going there.
Now you know there's actually a clothing there is a place like that that's not a beach, but it's in Fort Pierce. It's out west of the Turnpike.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nudist colony.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
How
Wow.
in God's name did we get on the subject of this?
Is it on the waterfront too?
No,
or is
it's
it
not.
Just...
But they have a pool.
Oh.
And yeah, they have a pool. I actually this is true
Wow.
story. What I'm about to tell you. I actually got and this is how I found out about it. My wife doesn't even know this story.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so if she's listening,
She's
gonna find out.
turning up her radio
Yeah,
now.
if she's listening, this is the first time she's going to hear this. I got a call to DJ somewhere, and I didn't know what this place was.
Yeah.
All right, so I put the address on my GPS and I go there, and I was like, okay. So there's like a bunch of people walking around naked. It's a nudist
Wow.
place. Okay, it's a nudist camp.
And you had no idea upon
No idea.
going?
They
Oh.
were interested in my DJ services. I want to say good morning to Michael Cooperman. He's listening this morning.
You know, I when I had my liquor store, my Budweiser rep gave me the entire set of Bud Light Real Men of Genius commercials,
Oh boy.
Ooh.
and one of them was the Mr. We want to celebrate you, Mr. Activity Coordinator for Nudist
Wow.
Yeah.
and one of them was lots of activities. He goes, only you would think of activities that involve lots of bouncing and jiggling.
Wow. So I go there to meet with this lady and this man, and I almost like kind of threw up in my mouth,
Yeah.
so to speak. Honestly, I was trying to maintain eye contact and not laugh. This is true, Phil. I was trying to maintain eye contact and not laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to them about DJing. They want to have a dance once a month. I'm serious, Bonnie.
All right.
I'm
You would have to
serious.
tell your wife by then
Yeah.
if you were going out
I
there
did
once
not-
a month.
She does not know this story. This
I think
is a
we're
true
laughing more
story.
at the visual than anything
know.
else.
So the guy says to me, and here was the icing on the cake.
I bet.
The guy says to me, "Are you actually going to be nude along with us when you DJ?"
Oh gosh.
Oh, was that optional for you?
And I said, "I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that." He goes, "Well, that's part of the requirements of being in the of the nudist camp."
Man.
And I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't help you then. I wish I could." And I walked out and kind of put my head between my legs and
Yeah.
just kind of walked away.
Yeah.
My cousin Michael Cooperman told me to say hello, so I'm saying hello to him. So so that was a very very interesting.
You could be
story.
like a DJ with a very big microphone, like one of those.
Don't stop right there. Stop right there. We're not going any further. It's 6:21 right now. Bonnie, why don't you speak into your microphone and do the news? Okay, there you go. Yeah, speaking to that very big microphone over there. All right. Poor Bonnie can't compose herself this morning.
Yeah.
All right, let's get serious, Bonnie. Let's go to the news desk. Take it away.
And good morning. The number of coronavirus cases in Florida is approaching 41,000. The death toll statewide is now at 1,735 after another 14 fatalities were reported yesterday. There's good news in the latest testing for COVID-19 in Florida.
The percent positive rate for just phase one counties for the reports today, 1.43% of the new tests came back positive.
Governor Ron DeSantis speaking in Fort Myers at his latest coronavirus update. Martin County has been increasing efforts to curb the number of cases in specific areas that have emerged as potential COVID-19 hotspots. At least 2 communities in particular are showing higher concentrations of cases. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the details.
Well, one of these communities with more concentrated cases is right here. It's known as the Monterey section near Canner Highway and Monterey Road. You can see there are signs in this community telling people how they can stay safe in both English and Spanish. But county leaders really just want to make it easier for residents here to just stay home. While you still see some people spending time outdoors,
I'm staying in my home and not talk to my neighbors.
people who live in what many refer to as the Monterey section say it's quieter than usual.
I'm scared.
People who live in these homes are trying to avoid catching or spreading COVID-19.
Mostly staying inside.
County leaders confirmed this community of nearly 100 homes nestled between Monterey Road and Canner Highway is approaching 10 COVID-19 cases. Law enforcement officers have been told to take extra precautions when responding to calls here.
I wash my hands and wash my dog.
When I heard about it, I just I'm staying inside because I don't feel like getting sick.
County agencies like Martin County Fire Rescue have been bringing them food so they don't have to go to the grocery store.
My reaction was it's good to bring food for us.
When I come in on site and I see the food and everything bring to me. I don't know who, but thank you and God bless.
Health leaders say cases are beginning to stabilize in the Monterey section. Now more efforts are ramping up in a second area of concern, the entire village of Indiantown. 90 cases have been confirmed in the village, so residents here are also getting meals delivered to them to keep them away from stores. Testing is also ramping up with at least 5 free COVID-19 testing sites set to be open by Tuesday. Indiantown remains the only Treasure Coast community to require face masks when in public. The 90 cases there jumped from 77 just yesterday. Reporting in Martin County, I'm Megan McRoberts. Back to you.
And lastly, a man from Michigan is recovering from serious injuries after being run over by a cop on a Gulf Coast beach. Authorities say 66-year-old William Kazayars was laying on a beach in Indian Shores when the left tires of Officer Natasha Hinman's Ford Explorer ran over his hips. It's not clear what discipline the officer might face. And NFL teams are exploring new training campsites in states less restricted due to COVID-19. The NFL and its teams are considering all sorts of contingency plans for the season. Teams in states with stricter social distancing rules are already looking for new places. They could hold a training camp with up to 150 people between players and staff. News Time 6:26, weather and traffic together are next. construction on Federal Highway in Jensen Beach, just south of the mall. The left lane closes and the center lane closes. You only have the right lane, so slow down southbound US 1. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 64 in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is warmer and breezier along the coast and cooler and calmer inland. And some inland patchy fog is possible, with high temperatures in the low 80s under partly to mostly sunny skies. Winds will remain gusty out of the northeast, and rain chances are very low today. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450 station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
Take no chance. Toilet paper, latex gloves, I've been ready for this since I was born. And now it's alright, it's okay. You may look the other way. You can try to understand the coronavirus effect on man. Whether your brother, whether your mother, you're staying inside, staying inside. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking, we're staying inside, staying inside. Hot, 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 staying inside, staying inside. Hot, 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 staying inside.
6:31 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie, and Phil is joining us from Phil's Notebook.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Phil.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
And of course, in the green room is the one and only Fredo from Fredo and the Shy Guys. And we have strategically placed a microphone in that room so Fredo can hear us. Good morning, Fredo. How you doing?
Hey, Evan, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. But I have a question I wanted to ask you, Fredo. Why weren't you at work yesterday? The band was here, but you weren't here. How come?
Well, I had something with my toes. I had to fix my toes. Something was wrong with my toes.
Did you go to the podiatrist?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was a corn. It was
Okay.
a corn on my toe.
Okay. Was it a corn on the cob?
Yeah, we had for dinner that night.
Okay. All right. Very good. Listen, when you're not going to be here, though, Fredo, you have to make sure and call in because, we have to document your absence. And because you didn't call in, it was an unexcused absence. So you're going to be docked pay. You're not going to be paid.
Okay, well, you do what you got to do, okay, Evan? You got to do what you got to do.
Okay. All right. No
Okay.
problem.
No problem.
You just keep that band in line there. And in fact, Fredo, can you have the band play us something? Would you count me down and have the band strike up a tune?
You got it.
All right, go ahead.
2, 1, hit it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will say Fredo's on his game this morning.
Yeah.
Right, Phil?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Good job, Fredo. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Wow.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
right?
He must be feeling good after he got to his podiatrist.
Well, I don't know, but
Podiatrist.
that'll teach him next time to call in when he's not going to be here. So this way we don't dock his pay.
Yeah.
So
Never want to do that.
no, we
No.
don't. But it's like Bonnie, if you're late or you're not going to be here. If I'm not going to be here, I have to call the boss and say, hey, I can't be here. And this way we get at least an excused absence, but that's unexplainable.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, a child when they go to school, if they're absent, parent has to write a note, so maybe
Yeah.
next time we should have Fredo's, mom or dad write a note. I mean, Fredo is a little young, so maybe
he's
he
like in
doesn't.
his 60s, isn't he? According
Yeah,
to what you said.
he's in his 60s and
Yeah.
his parents are still alive.
Yeah.
Okay. Mama Fredo and Papa Fredo, they're still alive. So maybe they can, write an excuse note
Yeah.
next time.
Fredo always sounds constipated or something.
Wow.
Bonnie's on fire today, man.
Something's going on.
Wait a minute. Oh, are you suffering from irregularity?
Yeah. I've been taking some medication for it. Don't worry about it. Hold on. I gotta run to the bathroom. I'll see you. Oh.
Okay. All right. Well,
He's on the run.
all right. Yeah. he's
Heyo.
he's on the run. Okay. Won't go there.
No.
Let's talk a little bit about viral videos that are out there. There's an 11-year-old skateboarder is the first ever to land a 1080-degree turn. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
1080-degree turn.
This is amazing.
The kid's from Brazil named Guy Curry, and he's become the first person to land a 1080-degree turn on a vertical ramp. That's 3 full rotations.
Wow.
Full rotations. It topped skateboard legend Tony Hawk's 900-degree turn that he first landed in 1999. Here it is right here. 2, 3. Bam. Look at that. What? So there's 1, 2, and 3.
Nice.
Wow. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yes. 5-second rule.
Did you ever play that?
I actually have. It's a great game. Ellen.
Food?
No. It's
Thing.
just,
Oh.
no. She plays it on her show. It's 5-second rule. I tell you you have to name 3 things within 5 seconds, and I give you something to name. Like I would say, Bonnie, name 3 things that you're going to eat when you go to a restaurant.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have 5 seconds to name those 3 things. Otherwise, you hear this sound.
And in the whole scheme of things,
Mhm.
5 seconds it doesn't seem like
No.
that long, but
No.
it is ample time
It is.
for you to think of it and mention at least 3, right?
So here, I'm gonna do 5-second rule with you, just 1 round and 1 round with Phil.
All right.
Real quick,
Oh,
all right?
okay.
So we're gonna have you go first, Bonnie. Okay. Name 3 things that you're going to do when you go to the mall.
Go to Macy's, Cohen's, and I can't.
See, it's that quick,
Yeah.
and that's 5 seconds,
But-
and I have the timer right there.
But it was doable. You see, I just didn't think fast
Right.
enough.
Okay, so Phil.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to name 3 things, okay, that give me 3 ingredients when you make your hamburger helper.
Pasta, hamburger, and cheese.
Yeah, nice
Okay.
job.
All right,
Yeah.
and I'm just thinking of those things off the top of my head.
Right. That's a pretty cool concept, like a pretty cool game, because like you're kind of like on pins and needles on the receiving end, wondering
Right.
what the topic is going to be.
Exactly, because
And-
you have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea
I
at all
like
whatsoever.
it. I like it. Do you guys play it at home when you're quarantined?
No, it's
It
just,
would
just
be-
something I just thought of off the top of my head.
It's
I'm
cool.
literally, while we're sitting here on the radio, I just thought of that.
Yeah.
So we're going to make that a new addition to the show
Okay.
on a certain day, and we're going to only do it on days that Phil is here.
All right.
Okay, so this way, because you
Have a
have
little
to
bit
have
of
another
competition.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to have the competition.
And
You're
on
going down, Bonnie.
Thursday, also, I will think of a topic for you, Evan. We'll toss one at you, and maybe
Okay.
Phil will toss one at you.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That'll
That's
be fun.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem. All right.
I'm pumped about the idea.
Hold on. You have a question for the Magic 8 Ball, Bonnie, about this?
We do.
Yeah. Will I be able to even think of a question before Thursday?
Magic 8 Ball response is, my reply is no. The Magic 8 Ball has spoken.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. I wouldn't be doing my homework then.
Okay.
All right. The mighty 8 Ball doesn't have very much faith in me.
Okay, so I'm going to do one more 5-second round with you, Bonnie. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Name 3 things you do when you take your car to the car wash.
I spray it, rinse it.
Wait, hold on. Wait, that I hit the button accidentally. That was premature. Sorry.
That was quick.
Sorry. That was wrong. All right, hold on. Let
Okay.
me give you another topic.
All right.
Okay, let me give you another
I was going to
topic.
say spray, wash, and wax.
Okay. Name 3 things you order when you go to the Chinese restaurant.
Chow mein, crab rangoon, and hot sauce.
Oh,
she got it in there.
okay.
I think it was right on the. It was like a tiebreaker.
You order
Yeah.
hot sauce?
Yeah.
That's on the menu?
Oh yeah.
I don't
Okay.
eat Chinese food, so I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Oh,
Okay.
You know, you got to have
Yeah.
like hot sauce on
Okay.
your egg roll sometime.
Okay. All right. Phil? Hot sauce on your egg roll.
Sometime.
Hot sauce on your egg roll.
Or
I have
chow
no
mein.
joke. I just like to say hot sauce on your egg roll.
Okay. All right. Phil, here's one for you. Are you ready?
Go. Yeah.
Okay. Name 3 types of Spanish food.
Beans, rice, and corn.
Oh, that's excellent.
Corn?
Is corn one of them?
No.
I think corn is maize, and that would be considered Indian, right?
I
be
don't
wrong.
know. All I know is anytime I eat any Spanish food, there's always corn in it.
You're right, though.
So-
You're right, though. That could. I think we should probably. I'll be nice, Phil, and we'll give it to you if Evan's on the same boat with me there.
Phil, I have a job for you, Phil. I want you to type up a list of topics for 5-second rule.
Okay.
Because you're really witty when it comes to stuff like that. And email it to me.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, see what you can do. Maybe we'll do.
Fredo.
I don't.
Poor Fredo.
Poor Fredo.
Man's constipated, and we're making him do games.
No. I
Yeah,
don't
and then
know.
he has a corn on his foot too.
Yeah.
We don't want to eat that corn.
No,
Well, he's
definitely
old, you know.
A family in Canada built a hug glove recently. Okay, a hug glove.
Yeah.
This is a video that's going viral. So they can embrace grandma on Mother's Day. It's a big plastic sheet hung over a clothesline, and it has 4 plastic sleeves, 2 on each side.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 people can reach through and they can hug each other. Here's the audio from this. I watched the video this morning, and it's really ingenious. Listen in.
Hug machine.
It's a hug glove.
He has called it the hug glove. So, happy Mother's Day, Mom. We're going to give you a hug on Mother's Day.
Put your arms through.
So you have to put your arms, I'm putting my arms through the top. And you have to put yours through the bottom holes. Okay. You're shorter. And then I get to hug my mom.
You hear how happy they are?
Yeah, nothing, people will do anything now for a hug
Yeah.
because people have been missing their hugs.
Bonnie, if I could, I'd come
Yeah.
over there and give you a hug right now, but we have to practice social distancing.
And we do.
Plus, we're on camera and we don't want anybody, saying anything.
I could almost smell those fresh sheets on the clothesline.
You know what we haven't done in a while?
What's that?
We haven't called G
Oh,
at the other
Who?
station, Mr.
Okay.
G. Hold on, Phil. We're calling G and Ray. It's if they answer.
okay.
Car will, the fans will love watching the upcoming races at Darlington and
Yes.
Charlotte
Okay.
on television.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, hey,
They
at
answered.
least you can see it. Yeah, and they're going to do it live. So there
Maybe
you go.
we'll
But
be a
they
part of
will
their show.
Also
Yeah.
be a little, another
Keep that
jelly.
underneath in the background.
Play what they could do.
Anything's possible.
Is that another radio show?
Yeah, that's actually our sister station.
Following a 9-week
They're doing a bit right now on the air.
pandemic. Biggest question for that
So
remains
they're
for
doing a
NASCAR.
bit, so obviously they can't take our call
They're
right
kind of busy.
Yeah. Unlike us. We have
Yeah,
tons of time on
Talking
our
about
hands.
nudist colonies and magic 8 balls
Yeah.
And corn.
Yeah, and corn.
and corn.
Hey, Phil, did you know, according to a study, 1 out of 4 dogs are depressed?
Oh,
1 out of 4 dogs are depressed.
That makes me so sad.
This is true. These are true facts.
I know, and
I
many,
did not know that.
many
Yes.
more dogs will be depressed when their owners now go back to work after this quarantine.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
get out of here. Leave me alone. Give me the house back to myself.
My dog goes through like a separation anxiety when we leave the house.
Really?
Or someone leaves the house. Oh man, does she get upset?
My
Yeah.
dog will go and sit in my chair until I come home.
Yeah. Oh, I love
And
that.
when I'm home, my dog will follow me everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
Literally, Kaya will follow me everywhere to the point where
Yeah.
even when I go to the restroom, she will sit outside that door until I'm done.
We can tell whose dog Kaya is then.
Yeah.
Just by
Yeah.
the sounds of that.
Yeah. Did you know that 1 out of 3 of us have sent a text message in our sleep? You ever done that before?
Oh
No, I don't think I have.
Phil,
no.
there's somebody at your door.
Yeah, it's a guy walking the dog.
Yeah, I can hear the Ring Video doorbell. You've never texted while you've slept before? I have.
No.
No.
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, I have.
Mm-mm.
I've done it.
I never.
Pretty astounding, some of the things I've said.
Was it a dream that you were having? Of
I don't know, but I
texting?
sent a text message to one of my friends.
Wow.
And they screenshot it and showed it to me. I was like really embarrassed.
You know, there's a website called Text from Last Night, and oh man, it's like drunk texting, sleeping texting, and some of it you just scratch your head and you just laugh at it. Some of the
Really?
stuff I've read on. Oh yeah, it's very funny stuff on there.
I bet a lot of it you can't even read. Like it would be,
Yeah, there's some you can, some and a lot you can't. But a lot of it's quite funny though, especially some of the responses from whoever they texted. It's hilarious.
Well, now when you text, you just simply speak into it sometimes, right?
Button?
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially if you're like a little drunk and you're slurring your words.
Well, I don't know about that. I speak for yourselves, but I don't drink. But
Okay, Mr. High and Mighty.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, no, that is pretty crazy if you've had a few cocktails,
Yeah.
so to speak, and then you're speaking and your words are slurring, and all of a sudden it starts putting different words out there.
Oh my
that
gosh.
you didn't say, and you hit the send button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Especially
Here-
sending your one of your parents one of those text messages.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, did you ever send a text message like to the wrong person?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have
Oh, I've
concocted,
done that.
I've concocted stories on top of stories just to get out of it.
Okay.
And I have texted cruel things to the wrong people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. 6:47 right now. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. And the number of coronavirus cases in Florida is approaching 41,000. The death toll statewide is now at 1,700. after another 14 fatalities were reported yesterday. But there's good news in the latest testing for COVID-19 in Florida.
The percent positive rate for just phase one counties for the reports today, 1.43% of the new tests came back positive.
Governor Ron DeSantis speaking in Fort Myers at his latest coronavirus update. Martin County has been increasing efforts to curb the number of cases in specific areas that have emerged as potential COVID-19 hotspots. And it's been a week since phase one began on the Treasure Coast. On Monday, WPTV's John Shaman checked in on businesses and hospitals to get a progress report as Florida looks to recover from the economic crisis.
In downtown Fort Pierce, Roslow's has been a retail institution for 70 years. Owner Greg Roslow was pleased with last week's sales.
We weren't sure how it was going to go. And I think the impetus of Mother's Day, and we typically do a reasonably good business for Mother's Day.
Beyond retail, one industry that hopes to see more people is the healthcare industry. We spoke with hospital leaders today who remind you that if you don't feel well, get yourself checked out.
It's important that people understand the use of masks and social distancing.
Dr. Michael Bakerman, Chief Medical Officer at Lawnwood Regional Medical Center, says phase one allowed them to restart elective surgical procedures.
We know that patients have choice and doctors have choice. So we want them to be able to come to a very safe environment where the patients have confidence that they can get the care they need.
I think that patients that were scared to come in previously are definitely starting to come in.
Dr. Josephine Mathai, the emergency room director at St. Lucie Medical Center, says temperature checks are taken outside the hospital and there's universal mask use inside.
Honestly, long term, waiting with symptoms at home, you're going to have a poorer outcome.
Doctors say there's going to be some element of risk until there's a vaccine, and smart individual choices will go a long way.
We want them to feel comfortable that they can come in and shop.
Back at Roslow's,
we don't expect people to come flooding back right away. We think it will be a process over time.
A process they hope can keep them in business another 7 decades. In St. Lucie County, John Shaman.
And lastly, toll plazas around the state can serve food again, but there's a catch for those traveling through South Florida. The governor announcing that most toll plazas can seat and serve diners, but plazas in Snapper Creek, Pompano, and West Palm Beach can only serve takeout. FDOT says it will monitor dining practices and adjust as the new guidelines emerge. And the Miami Dolphins have their man. Former Alabama quarterback Tung Oviloa has inked his first contract. The 4-year deal is worth more than $30 million. Tung was the Dolphins' top draft pick in last month's NFL draft. News time is 6:50, and weather and traffic together are next.
6:52 the time right now. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. All brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Once again, look for a little bit of a slowdown on US 1 south of the mall in Jensen Beach, where there's road construction in that area. Yes, the left lane closes, then the center lane closes. You only have the right lane to work with, so use caution. Slow down a little there. There's your latest look at traffic. We have a clear sky this morning at 63 in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is warmer and breezier along the coast and cooler and calmer inland. And some inland patchy fog is possible. This afternoon, warm and windy with high temperatures in the low 80s under partly to mostly sunny skies. Winds will remain gusty out of the northeast and rain chances are very low today. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Dr. Anthony Fauci. Oh, Fauci, you're so fine. 79 with a big mind. Hey, Fauci. Hey, Fauci.
Now is the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Dr. Anthony Fauci.
I don't want to act like a tough guy. I just want to get the facts out.
Which is my job as a scientist. My job is to ultimately
drop science.
Hey, Fauci. Because when you say we're ill, it always makes me moan. You're giving me the chills when I see you on my phone. Every night I get the feels in my soft zone. Fauci!
We will get over this, and this will end.
Scientists like you, Fauci. I want to do you, Fauci. So why can't we start Fauci?
We really have to hang in there.
Oh, Fauci, you're so fine.
6:57 on the Get Up and Go show, and that was a parody of Mickey from Tony Basil called Fauci.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fauci.
That was pretty good.
Fauci. Phil, can you sing that?
No.
Didn't think so.
I'm not a singer. That's why I was a DJ. I only play the songs, not sing.
Fredo, can the band play that?
We can try.
All right.
Go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
Didn't work too well.
No, I guess not. No.
No, didn't work too well.
No, they're all sleeping.
Yeah, they're all sleeping. We're going to need to get them up here in a minute because we're going to ask Fredo to strike the band up here in a minute to take us into the break. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to have birthdays and anniversaries. And then at the 8 o'clock hour, Sheriff Snyder's going to be here from Martin County Sheriff's Office. Boy, can't wait to talk to him.
Oh, I know. He always, he always really fills us in quite nicely about what's going on right here in Martin County.
Yeah.
He's just a great PR sheriff. We just love him here.
There's a lot to talk about, especially with all the stuff going on with the beaches. Everybody from down south migrating up to the north.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's not too happy about that.
And we knew it was bound to happen.
Yeah.
And I know they're finally getting things back reopened to the south of us down in Palm Beach County.
Definitely so.
So, which is a good thing.
We're WSTU Stewart. We're Martin County's heritage station. Hey, Fredo, can you do me a favor over there in the other room, please?
Yeah.
Could you get the band to play?
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
We're going to let the band play, the Shy Guys, along with Fredo leading the band. They'll take us all the way into the news, and then we'll be back right after the news. Good job, Fredo.
Is that Fredo Bond?
No.
Bond. Fredo Bond.
Fredo Bond. Keep up the good work, Fredo. Thank you. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
When no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's remote, your home reunion got delayed. It's like you're always stuck in quarantine. And it could be another 18 months before you find a vaccine. So I'll stay far from you, 6 feet or more. I'll stay far from you. If I see you at the store, I'll stay far from you. Stay away from me too.
7:07 at the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. And did you like that one, Bonnie?
I must say, I thought the vocals were very, very well on that one.
Yeah, that was good.
It was kind of like close to the real deal of the Rembrandts who originally performed
Yeah,
that.
that was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Phil, did you like that one?
Bad.
I want to watch a Friends episode all of a sudden.
Right?
I know.
Yeah.
That kind of gave me goosebumps, put me in a good mood.
Yeah.
Kind of took my mind off things for about 50 seconds.
Phil, we threw out a question yesterday because
We did?
because I saw the because I saw the episode with Friends where Joey goes out to eat with this really gorgeous, attractive brunette, a long-haired
Yes.
brunette, and he can't have a second date with her because as they're eating, she reaches over and grabs a couple of his French fries off of his plate.
Oh,
Really?
now I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
Phil, here's a question for you real quick before we get to birthdays
Okay.
and anniversaries. Does it irk you when somebody reaches over and takes food off of your plate and then eats it? Does if Veronique wants to get a French fry off your plate, does that bother you if she does that?
No, it does not bother me. No.
Okay. Now, Bonnie said she's okay with it, but Gary, her boyfriend, he'll go ballistic. Literally. He'll break a jugular.
I do have a problem when someone drinks out of my cup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see
That's
I
probably
do. I have
worse.
an issue with that also.
Yeah. I
Or like a soda bottle or something.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
now if my wife has to pop like an aspirin or something like that, she takes a sip of my water. I'm fine with that to an extent because it might be the closest thing she needs to do so. But then what I kind of do is like I just throw out the water or whatever I'm drinking and make a whole new glass.
What are you afraid you're going to get cooties or something?
I don't know what it is. It just irks me that, but the French fries off the plate doesn't bother me though.
Nice.
Okay. Now, what about Veronique? If Veronique is eating dinner and you reach over and try to sample something off of her plate, even in a restaurant,
Mhm.
is she the type that's going to like slap your hand and go, Phil?
No,
No.
she won't do that. No, because like if we go to a restaurant and I get a steak, she won't want a bite of the steak, and she goes, "Oh, let me get a bite of that," and she'll go over with a fork and take it off the plate and eat it. you know?
Okay.
Yep.
And I've done that with vice versa.
It
So,
takes a certain kind of individual because I know that some people that completely get irked by that.
Yeah.
And it kind of
I
gets-
now know somebody that does get irked by that, and that's Gary.
and it's a little bit annoying to me too. Like say if I was eating some ice cream and you were sitting across the table and you took your spoon and took a bite of my ice cream. I don't think I'd care for that.
Okay. But now, see, that wouldn't bother me. But if you double dip and then do it twice, that's where you draw the line. Time for birthdays and anniversaries and back in the day. And without further ado, Bonnie, we always let you go first.
Oh, I don't.
Did
have
I catch you by surprise?
You did. You did. I forgot that. But I don't have anybody to wish a happy birthday today.
No,
I don't.
That's
no.
unusual.
Yeah, it's
Phil?
true.
a lady I know, Leah Toon. Happy birthday.
Leah Toon.
Leah
all right.
Toon.
Yes.
And who is Leah Toon?
She was a customer of mine when I had the liquor store.
Oh, okay. All right.
Real good friend.
Nice.
I don't have her phone number.
Does she live down in your area, Phil?
She lives over in Jupiter Farms.
Oh,
So.
lovely area, right?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yep.
All right. We want to say good morning to another listener popped in there. Courtney Marie is watching on Facebook. And then George just messaged me and said, can Bonnie or Phil see the comments on the page? Well, it depends on what page you comment on. Because, the feed is on 3 different pages. So if you comment on one page, we may not see it on another page.
So if George would be excited about it, I will look for where he showed us his comment.
Yeah.
And
or he could just call in.
I'll just take a little search.
Tell us his comment. Anyway, Emily Van Camp, 34 years old. That's Nicolette on the Fox medical drama The Resident. Claire Bowen, 36. Scarlett O'Connor on Nashville. Domhnall Gleeson is 37. That's General Hux in Star Wars. Rami Malek is 39. Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie Bohemian Rhapsody.
He played Freddie Mercury to a T. And I'll tell you what, when my movie theater opens again, if they have Bohemian Rhapsody, I will pay to go see that on the big screen again in a heartbeat.
I didn't know you owned a movie. I didn't know you owned a movie theater. You said my movie theater.
Yeah.
Wow. Which one do you own?
Someday I'll have it when we have a bigger mansion. But
okay.
I go out to the one in St. Lucie West.
That's a nice one, actually. It used to be called Carmike, didn't it, or something like that?
It was Carmike
now
at one
something
time.
Else.
You're right. And now it is AMC movie theater.
Okay, all right. Malin Ackerman, 42. That's Alara Axelrod on Showtime's Billions. Jason Biggs is 42. That's Jim in the American Pie movies. Kim Fields is 51. That's Tootie in Facts of Life.
Tootie from the Facts of Life.
Tutti Frutti.
Yeah. Did you all watch the Facts of Life? Did you have a favorite? Like, like we always have a favorite Sex and the City girl. Did you have a favorite Facts of Life girl back in the day?
I like Blair for some reason, but then I kind of moved to Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a thing for brunettes, so I think I realized I like Joe better, but I don't know. Something about Blair, though, I kind of dug too. So,
do you know who almost played Joe? Wait, now there was somebody that was going to play Joe before the original girl that played Joe did, and I can't remember who she was now, so I'll come back to you.
Okay. All right. Catherine
all right,
Tate.
great research there.
Thank you. Google.com. Catherine Tate's 52 from Doctor Who.
Whoa,
Doctor Who. Yeah, I know. You're Doctor Who. Catherine Tate is 52. That's former Doctor Who star who was Nellie on The Office. Okay. Scotty Schwartz is 52. The kid who got his tongue stuck on the pole in A Christmas Story. Stephen Baldwin is 54. That's the Baldwin brother.
I met him before.
Okay. Emilio Estevez is 58. That's the son of Martin Sheen. And Kix Brooks of the country duo Brooks and Dunn is 65. Billy Squire, 70. Steve Winwood, 72. Burt Bacharach, 92.
He wrote some really good songs. He was responsible for writing That's What Friends Are For.
Yep. That's by Dionne Warwick. She sang that one.
Yeah.
Celebrating birthdays in the heavens, Yogi Berra. Wow. George Carlin and Katharine Hepburn. Today is National Limerick Day, Bonnie.
Limerick Day. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
do you know what a limerick is?
Yep.
I don't.
You don't know what a limerick is?
No, what's a limerick?
It's like any song you listen to. You've heard it before. They have a limerick.
So that's a limerick.
A limerick in a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a caller. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Yo, guys.
Oh, this is George. Sound like you just woke up.
And Bonnie, did you finally plug back in the camera on Facebook? And Evan's been trying to look for, to fix the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Evan really got it fixed yesterday. I guess he was on the line with his technical friend fixing that thing for hours.
That really aggravated me. Like no tomorrow.
Phil, I wouldn't drink out of somebody else's cup either. Someone could have spit into it.
Okay, now I finally.
Yeah, now you just grossed us
Oh
out.
yeah.
Thanks, George.
We really needed that this early in the morning. What's the weather like in Kentucky? Let's go on a different subject.
Well, we're at 40-something degrees right
What?
now. Yeah.
You're in the
That's
40s
too
right now?
That's too
Yeah.
cold.
And this is May 12th?
Yeah. It's because of that vortex that came down and
Okay.
then went across, and that's why New England got snow and all that. But we're supposed to go start in the 80s on Thursday, and we're good from there.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah, it is.
do you still have some people visiting you?
Oh my gosh.
Are they still
That old-
there?
Yeah, the old guy, man. What a pain in the butt.
Okay, so him and Edna are staying with
Yeah.
you still. Okay.
Yeah, he reminds me of Phil, so
Really?
he has a magic 9 ball.
Oh, instead of a
The
magic
magic
8 ball,
ball.
he has a magic 9 ball. Okay. Okay. How's Edna's cooking?
Oh, Edna's good at cooking, boy. I tell you what. Oh, fried possum. Oh man, good. So good.
Fried possum.
Yeah.
That's actually good eating. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you never had possum?
No.
Oh yeah, squirrel.
Oh, man.
and,
Oh.
my
Wow.
goodness.
I suppose you
My
picked
goodness.
wild mushrooms.
When you just
too?
said squirrel, I thought of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Well, Bullwinkle was in with the mix.
Hey, Rock, you want to see me pull a rabbit out of my hat?
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I gotta find a way.
They need to get on the road because they're staying with you a little too long. They've been there last Thursday or
Yeah,
Wednesday
well-
or something like that.
Well, the old man blew up my outhouse.
He what? He blew up your outhouse?
I don't know if I want to ask that question.
That's okay.
Top 10 questions. How to
Okay.
blow up an outhouse.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, I'm hoping maybe I'll hear from the old man down the road later on today. He hasn't called the program as of late, so I thought maybe he wasn't feeling good, or Edna was sick and he's taking care of Edna. So, who knows? Anything is
yeah.
possible.
Yeah, I'll while I'm pushing him out the door, I'll get him on the phone.
Okay, please do. I have to say good morning to my wife. She just said good morning to me on Facebook. So if I don't say good morning to
Rachel.
if I don't say good morning to Rachel, I'm going to have heck to pay when I get home.
Yeah, good morning, Rachel.
Yeah,
If you
Phil,
can
would
hear
you
us.
say good morning to Rachel also, please?
Hi,
Happy
Rachel.
birthday, Rachel.
Yeah, happy
We haven't
birthday,
heard that one in a
Rachel.
while.
Yeah, we haven't wished Rachel a happy birthday in a
Yeah,
while.
it's been quite a
Yeah,
while.
it's been a while.
Oh, by the way, remember we were talking before about the facts of life, and I said that the girl that plays Joe was Nancy McKeon, right?
Right.
So
Yeah,
the girl,
Nancy McKeon.
the girl that almost played Joe it makes sense, was Courtney Cox, is the one
Oh.
that almost played
Yeah.
that role.
Okay. All right, George, we're up against the break, so we got to skedaddle out of here. So say goodnight,
All right.
George.
Good night, George.
There you go. All right, that's George from Kentucky. He's one of our friends of the show. He listens on the
Yeah.
internet and on our Facebook page.
Now I'm going to go home and have possum and eggs, I
Oh,
suppose.
God.
Oh, man.
7:20. It's news time right now. Let's go to the national news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The number of coronavirus cases in Florida is approaching 41,000. The death toll statewide is now at 1,735 after another 14 fatalities were reported yesterday. There's good news in the latest testing for COVID-19 in Florida.
The percent positive rate for just phase 1 counties for the reports today, 1.43% of the new tests came back positive.
Governor Ron DeSantis speaking in Fort Myers at his latest coronavirus update. Martin County has been increasing efforts to curb the number of cases in specific areas that have emerged as potential COVID-19 hotspots. At least 2 communities in particular are showing higher concentrations of cases. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the details.
Well, one of these communities with more concentrated cases is right here. It's known as the Monterey section near Canner Highway and Monterey Road. You can see there are signs in this community telling people how they can stay safe in both English and Spanish. But county leaders really just want to make it easier for residents here to just stay home. While you still see some people spending time outdoors,
I'm staying in my home and not talk to my neighbors.
people who live in what many refer to as the Monterey section say it's quieter than usual.
I'm scared.
People who live in these homes are trying to avoid catching or spreading COVID-19.
Mostly staying inside.
County leaders confirmed this community of nearly 100 homes nestled between Monterey Road and Canner Highway is approaching 10 COVID-19 cases. Law enforcement officers have been told to take extra precautions when responding to calls here.
I wash my hands and wash my dog.
When I heard about it, I just I'm staying inside because I don't feel like getting sick.
County agencies like Martin County Fire Rescue have been bringing them food so they don't have to go to the grocery store.
My reaction was it's good to bring food for us.
When I come in on site and I see the food and everything bring to me, I don't know who, but thank you and God bless.
Health leaders say cases are beginning to stabilize in the Monterey section. Now more efforts are ramping up in a second area of concern, the entire village of Indiantown. 90 cases have been confirmed in the village, so residents here are also getting meals delivered to them to keep them away from stores. Testing is also ramping up with at least 5 free COVID-19 testing sites set to be open by Tuesday. Indiantown remains the only Treasure Coast community to require face masks when in public. The 90 cases there jumped from 77 just yesterday. Reporting in Martin County, I'm Megan McRoberts. Back to you.
And the Florida Department of Health announced Monday they're holding 12 coronavirus testing events throughout Martin County from May 12th through May 23. The testing is free and no appointment is needed. Health officials also said patients do not need to show symptoms and can simply drive through or walk up to any of the testing locations. Here are a few of those locations. In Indiantown, Big Mound Park will be holding one. St. Joseph Catholic Church in East Stewart. Booker Park Fire Department in Indiantown. In the Golden Gate community, a test location will be at Cassidy Center. On East Stewart, 10th Street Community Center. Also in Hobe Sound at Banner Lake Club. And here's a Palm City location, the Jock Layton Park on Map Road. And also for Jensen Beach, testing location will be held at Langford Park on Dixie Highway. And you can always phone us here if you would like more information on the locations. We're at 220-9788, 220-WSTU. How crazy would this have been? Someone dug up an old interview with Kobe Bryant where he said he almost signed with the Wizards in 2002 just to play with Michael Jordan. He said, quote, "I've always been very big on having mentors and being around guys who have done it before," and added that it would have meant he could be around Michael every day and learn from him. Obviously, that never happened, so we can only guess how well they would have meshed. But Kobe predicted it would have gone well because they both refused to lose. News Time 7:24, weather and traffic together are next.
$7:26 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, we don't have any accidents on our major highways. Just keep in mind that in the Jensen Beach area on US 1 south of the mall, that lane goes down to one lane with only the right lane there being open due to construction. There's your latest look at traffic. In Port St. Lucie, 63. It's 68 in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is warmer and breezier along the coast and cooler and calmer inland. And some inland patchy fog is possible. This afternoon, warm and windy with high temperatures in the low 80s under partly to mostly sunny skies. Winds will remain gusty out of the northeast and rain chances are very low today. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
Parents are going mad and kids are bouncing off the walls. So make your next family trip to Pandemic Land, the theme park of America. Just put on your mask, stand 6 feet apart in our unemployment ride line, and you'll be ready to ride the out-of-work Orbiter. Take some ups and downs in the CDC roller coaster of testing. Next, visit the Pirates of Conspiracy Theory, where you might believe what you're seeing. There's also the daytime binge watch jamboree. Plus, get your photo taken with one of the Pandemic Land characters, like Tommy the Toilet Paper, Order, or Sanitizer Sally. That is, if you can find them. Pandemic Land, just off the COVID-19 on Wash Your Hands Way.
Sanitizer Sally. I wonder who that is.
Great.
Did you like that one?
That was brilliant.
That was awesome.
I dig all this stuff up just to entertain you guys
Yeah.
every single morning.
I was listening for Lysol Wipe Lucy.
Lysol Lucy. Okay. Okay.
For stupid news,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
You like the way I pick my banjo? It's better than picking other things. I'm just digging the banjo. I want to get up and do a little two-step.
Uh-oh. Little fiddle.
Yeah, little fiddle there.
You know, I got in trouble the other day. My daughter plays the violin, and I called her the fiddle the other day.
Oh, boy.
instead.
Yeah,
You're
in
oh,
deep
man. I
doo-doo.
didn't hear the end of that for like an hour.
There's a difference,
Surprised
right?
she didn't throw you in the pool. Hey, a man who had been kicked out of a McDonald's restaurant for having no face mask threw a rock through the window. Then he went down the street to Walmart and stole some underwear, came back with it on his face, and police were there, and they arrested the guy.
Yeah.
Go
Wow.
figure that one.
Some people,
Like-
you know, just
They wanted him to wear a mask.
they have rough days.
Wouldn't. So he threw a rock through the window, goes down to Walmart, buys some women's underwear, puts it on his face. It comes back. Cops are there, and they arrest him.
He sounds like somebody that just needs to go back to work. Seriously.
That or just go get a mask. Why put a women's underwear on your face? That just isn't right.
He wants to work in the lingerie
What would you do
department.
if you saw somebody walking down the road with a pair of panties on their face?
Ooh, I'd be disgusted.
I'd think twice.
Mm.
Ooh, man. A British police department is reminding the public not to call 911 emergency numbers for non-emergency situations after somebody called to report that their taps were not dispensing hot water. The West Yorkshire Police Department said a recent caller to 911 reported their hot water wasn't working. Now, if you haven't got any hot water and your heating isn't working, then you'll need an engineer, is what the 911 operator told the person calling. 911 if your hot water heater's busted.
Or do it the old-fashioned way and boil some water on the stove and then pour it in your bathtub.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Now you've sanitized your water.
Yeah. Throw some of the Epsom salt in there,
Yeah.
too. It'll make it feel really good.
A Florida sheriff's office said a driver reversing out of a bank parking lot accidentally ended up backing up onto two cars. In Citrus County, the sheriff's office said the driver reversed out of the SunTrust drive-thru in Hernando and went over a curb. Dashcam footage captured by a witness shows the vehicle cross the road median, do a U-turn in reverse, jump the curb, back into the bank parking lot. The car, a white Caddy, ended up on the roof of two parked cars.
Wow. She
I
must
saw a
have.
picture of that.
Did she have like a backup cam?
No, but she
Probably not.
she probably had a withdrawal problem with the bank.
Yeah.
So
she was trying to be the Dukes of Hazzard there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely how, I don't know how you do that. Last week was the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II. And there was a flyover above Houston National Cemetery on Sunday. When it ended, a bunch of people were leaving, and one woman didn't want to sit in the traffic. So she decided she was going to drive over dozens of graves to get around the cars while a bunch of families were still there visiting their loved ones.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
A woman had to block her car so she wouldn't drive over the grave of her father, who fought in World War II.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do people have any consciences anymore?
I don't know.
No common sense. That's
No
what
common
that is.
sense on that one.
Yeah.
And patience.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
I don't even know what to say on that one.
Yeah.
You can't
People
go
have no
nowhere. Just
patience.
wait.
Yeah. People just aren't being raised right anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I've learned? It's like they have no patience and they don't want to be inconvenient.
Yeah.
When I used to work for a hotel, with the director of loss prevention, one time we had a parking lot was being paved, and I told the overnight officer to block off the walkway because we don't want people walking out there after being paved.
Right.
And he had caution tape. There was no way you can get through it. I actually watched someone the next morning because he didn't want to walk around an extra 3 or 4 feet or whatever it was. He literally started pulling it apart and trying to like a spider web and putting his leg through it and trying to get through it.
Okay.
Because he didn't want to walk an extra few feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like that no patience and that me sort of attitude. That me, I'm the only one that matters kind of attitude.
Yeah. Thomas says you can't fix stupid on our Facebook page. Well, there you go.
Thomas
Can't fix
is right.
stupid. Heinz finally created a new puzzle. It's a jigsaw puzzle. Busy right now. It's a 570 piece puzzle, and all the pieces are red. Every single last piece.
No thanks. Now
That's it.
I was the one complaining and moaning about patience, but lately I don't even have patience to restart my Hulu at home when it goes out.
If you're
Let alone-
interested, they're giving away 57 copies of the puzzle on Instagram to people who leave comments about the quote, who you wish you could finish this with. So, of course, on Instagram,
Yeah.
and I was one of the people
Nice.
All
to get the
right.
puzzle.
Really?
Yeah. DM'd them my address, and I'm going to get 570 piece jigsaw puzzle of nothing but red.
And what are you going to do with it when you're all finished and it's just completely red?
There's nothing about this in you and Rachel that I just mentioned.
Oh,
Rachel, not Evan and Rachel. Rachel. I'm going to wrap this up and re-gift it to Rachel for Christmas.
Oh, great. And you just announced it on the radio there. So
did I just
she's
say
gonna
that?
Get it.
Oh,
Real
my.
smart.
Oh, my. Okay. Well, there you go. Or, better yet, no, I'm not going to give it to Rachel for Christmas. I'll give it to somebody that likes ketchup as much as me.
Oh,
and that would be
is my
my
favorite vegetable.
That oldest son, Darren.
Oh,
I'll give it to Darren. And he can put 570 pieces of red together.
Yeah.
Until he's red in the face.
And then he can work on the next one and do the mustard one, which would all be the yellow pieces like the sun.
There you go.
Yeah, yellow
There you
pieces. Okay.
What about relish? Just do relish.
That would be all green.
Green.
Yeah, all green and like textury. That'd be it right there.
Yeah, add a little texture to the piece.
A puzzle that you can feel like Braille.
Yeah, right.
I want to go to Johnson City, Tennessee. This is where my father-in-law lives. And you can't fix stupid with this one. Johnson City, Tennessee. I hope Gary's listening. I know my wife is listening. But a 23-year-old guy named Derringer Barton and a 21-year-old guy named Blakely Marsh were at the Applebee's near Johnson City. That's Johnson City, Tennessee. And this was this past Saturday night. Now, mind you, Johnson City is not a very large town. Okay? They were upset when the bar manager announced last call at around 10:45. Okay? Last call at 10:45.
And some should just be happy to be able to be back out.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
occasion.
Yes, exactly.
So, after the bar manager announces last call at 10:45, they start flipping over the tables in the restaurant.
Oh, man.
Oh, geez.
The cops came and arrested them both in the parking lot. Derringer was in his truck, so he was arrested for driving under the influence. Blakely was arrested for public intoxication. Now, you never hear about nothing in Johnson City, Tennessee,
Yeah.
but this one takes the cake.
Evan, you've been there. So, like, what's the population of that town?
It's pretty small. It's
Yeah.
not a big town.
Yeah.
Not a very, very big town.
So it's big enough to have a tavern and a church, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a church.
And there's a tavern in the town.
Yeah, there's a tavern. Yeah. But this particular tavern, they decided to flip the chairs and the tables because the bar manager was doing his job.
Yeah.
Maybe I should call my father-in-law. He's probably awake this time of the morning.
All right, here's the population: 66,778 people as of 2018.
Thank you, Phil.
66,000 is actually pretty good then. I was mustering that it would be smaller than that.
I'm actually going to call my father-in-law on the line right now as we're speaking. My wife is probably going to say he's going to shoot you. So here we go.
Like the possum that we heard earlier.
Right?
At least he's on our time, and it's 20 minutes to 8.
Oh,
there
no, it's
too, right?
earlier there.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's an hour behind.
It's
yeah.
earlier there. Here we go. Let's see if he answers. He probably knows about the Applebee's.
I'm not available right now. Leave
Oh,
your
he
name and
sent
number
me
and
to
I'll get back to you as soon
voicemail.
as I-
Man.
Oh.
Wow.
That was rude.
That was cold.
Yeah.
He sent his son-in-law to voicemail.
So where's this Johnson City in Tennessee? Like,
It's in Johnson City, Tennessee.
okay. So is it like north of Chattanooga, or
I'm not sure where it is.
Is it?
I just know there's a small little regional airport
Yeah.
there that you fly into. That's like you go in on this like puddle jumper.
Yeah.
Is what it's called.
It's in East Tennessee.
Is it? Okay.
Eastern
Yes.
Tennessee. So it's
Yes.
over by I want to say closer to Pigeon Forge and closer to Dolly World, the Smoky Mountains in that area.
Okay. So he just messaged me and he said, try calling me again.
I bet it's beautiful there.
Because he didn't recognize the number.
I like what the things you could do in Johnson City.
Right?
It says disc golf and Buffalo Mountain Parking.
All right, I'm calling my father-in-law.
Buffalo Mountain Parking. Huh?
Calling my
Yeah.
father-in-law live on the air.
Okay.
He said, "Call me again." So let's see if he
Hello.
answers. There he is. Hey, Gary, it's your son-in-law. We're on the radio.
Okay.
How you doing, buddy?
All righty.
Say hello to Bonnie and Phil. They're with me this morning.
Hello, Bonnie. Hello, Phil.
Good morning,
Hey.
Gary.
So, Gary, I'm doing a segment
morning.
called "Stupid News" right now, and your town made the news.
My what made the news?
Your town, Johnson City, Tennessee, made my stupid news.
Oh,
You know the Applebee's that's near you?
yeah.
Okay, well, there are two guys there named Derringer Barton and Blakely Marsh. You don't happen to know those two folks, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, just want to make sure. They
Yeah,
were a
he
little
had to drink with them last
Yeah,
night.
they were a little ticked off the other day because the bar manager at your Applebee's where you live announced last call at 10:45. So you know what they started doing? Flipping tables and throwing chairs.
Oh, sounds like they should be in Florida.
Oh, thanks. Wow. Okay.
Wow,
Now,
gee.
how far is that Applebee's from you?
From where I'm living,
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Are you serious? 5 minutes? Well, I guess I could say only in Johnson City, Tennessee, do you see this happen.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Wow, that's crazy. How are you and Janet doing, by the way? Everybody's well?
Well, we're doing well. Janet and Crystal and Will and Alicia will be down there in a couple weeks to pick up Will's son to bring him back up here for the summer.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to see some family down here. They're venturing out. And, of course, your daughter, which is my wife, who's tolerated me for the last 22 past years. She hasn't killed me yet, which is amazing.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand. People are still asking me, how did I last this long? I don't know. She's got nerves of steel. That's all I got to say. But anyway, thank you for taking the call this morning. I appreciate it. I know you normally don't answer calls that are numbers that you don't recognize because they're probably bill collectors or something of that sort.
Chances are, yes.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope to see you soon. I miss you and I love you much.
I love you guys too. Stay safe.
All right. Bye-bye now. Well, there you go.
Oh, very
Just
nice.
think that Applebee's is 5 minutes away from his house.
Applebee's is like one of my favorite places to go. Reason being, not only do I like their food, but I like the layout of their restaurant,
Mhm.
and their atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the way you kind of like step up and the chairs and that
Don't get me wrong.
step up part raised up high.
I am not knocking Applebee's.
Oh, I know that.
I'm not.
I know. No, I understand
I'm not
that.
knocking Applebee's in any way, shape, or form.
I know.
I'm knocking these two guys.
I absolutely.
Okay. Especially these two guys that are in Johnson City, Tennessee. 7:45 is news time. Let's go to the national news desk where Bonnie is standing by with the national news.
And good morning. The number of coronavirus cases in Florida is approaching 41,000. The death toll statewide is now at 1,735 after another 14 fatalities were reported yesterday. There's good news in the latest testing for COVID-19 in Florida.
The percent positive rate for just phase one counties for the reports today, 1.43% of the new tests came back positive.
Governor Ron DeSantis speaking in Fort Myers at his latest coronavirus update. As Florida begins to reopen, the overwhelming concern among parents heading back to work is who will take care of their children for the remainder of the summer. WPTV's Derek Lowe stopped by the Boys and Girls Club in St. Lucie County to see what measures they are taking to keep children safe.
13. I mean, it's nice to know that they get to come somewhere.
Amber Guylog is part of the Boys and Girls Club staff in Port St. Lucie. She is also a mother of 3 and says with the precautions they're taking at this year's summer camp, she's not worried about her kids.
They may not like it, but I put them in a mask.
Inside, you'll see staff cleaning equipment after each use and markers on the floor in the hallways.
The Civic Center staff actually had a tool that walked off the distances between all the tables so they know exactly what 6 feet were.
And when kids come in, temperatures will be taken before heading to one of 20 different rooms where no more than 10 people are allowed.
the more we learn about this, the more we'll be able to teach our kids exactly what this is.
Now, when parents come to drop off their kids here at the Mid-Florida Event Center, these tents right here will be as far as they are allowed to go. They will not be allowed inside the building here. The Boys and Girls Club of St. Lucie County does currently have a wait list, but they do still encourage parents who are interested in dropping their kids off for summer camp to sign up online. We've got information on how to do that over on our website. For now, reporting in Port St. Lucie, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV News Channel 5.
The Florida Department of Health announced Monday they're holding 12 coronavirus testing events throughout Martin County from May 12 to May 23. The testing is free and no appointment is needed. And here are a few of those drive-up testing locations, including in Indiantown, Booker Park Fire Department on Thursday, May 14. In Hobe Sound, you can go to Banner Lake Club on Sunday, May 17. And also in the Palm City location, Jock Layton Park on Map Road. This one's held Thursday, May 21st. And in Jensen Beach at Langford Park on Dixie Highway on Tuesday, May 19th. And call for more information right here if you need information on locations at 220-WSTU. NFL teams are exploring sites in states less restricted due to COVID-19. The NFL and its teams are considering all sorts of contingency plans for this season. Teams in states with stricter social distancing rules are already looking for new places they could hold a training camp with up to 150 people between.
$7:50 the time right now. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, we're not seeing any accidents, and just witnessed this morning that south of the mall on US 1 in the Jensen Beach area, just slow down. Use caution there. There's road construction, and the lanes go down to only the right lane southbound being open. There's your latest look at traffic. And currently in Jensen Beach, it's 68. Here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is warmer and breezier along the coast and cooler and calmer inland. And some inland patchy fog is possible. This afternoon, warm and windy with high temperatures in the low 80s under partly to mostly sunny skies. Winds will remain gusty out of the northeast and rain chances are very low today. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Coming up on the Pandemic Channel, Coronavirus Seinfeld.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is kind of embarrassing, but there's no toilet paper over here. Are you talking to me? Yeah, I just forgot to check, so if you could spare some. No, I'm sorry. What? No, I'm sorry, I can't spare it. Spare it? No, there's not enough to spare. You can't spare 3 square? No, I don't have a square to spare. I can't spare a square. Oh, is it 2 ply? Because if it's 2 ply, I'll take 1 ply. 1 ply. Look, I don't have a square and I don't have a ply. No.
Coronavirus Seinfeld.
Wow. Can you spare a square?
You're getting pretty desperate when you start counting the squares.
I know, right? Especially
right?
when it's 2 ply. That's not good.
Have you heard of the cheap people who actually buy 2 ply and then they pull it apart to make?
Do they really?
No.
To make a double
Really?
roll? Really?
Yeah, I saw it.
Where'd you see that at?
I saw it on a TV show where people tend to be really, really cheap, and that was one of the ones where they are. There was also a really cheap guy in a movie theater who had brought out. It was either his wife or his girlfriend, and okay, so you have the $5 bucket of popcorn that you buy, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what he did? He saw a patron go and toss one in the trash can, and he pulled it out of the trash can.
Did he really?
And brought it up to the popcorn booth so he could get a refill for free.
So in other words, what you're saying is, wait a minute, the popcorn, you get free refills?
Yeah, if you got that certain bucket.
You buy the $5 bucket.
$5 golden bucket.
The golden bucket. And you get free refills. So the guy got the bucket out of the trash so he could get free popcorn.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the wife or the girlfriend didn't even realize they didn't even know a thing that he did it. They thought he was like a really big spender.
Wow.
Now, do you get the popcorn when you go to the movie, Evan?
No, I don't.
No. I just get butter
I don't waste
flavoring.
I don't waste my money.
I get that chemical butter flavor and I just eat it out of the bowl.
I love that
I will buy my $9 box of Raisinets. That's about how much they do cost.
Yeah.
And then eat a box of Raisinets.
Right.
But now I've learned that it's been a while since I've gone to a movie. But if I do go to a movie, I'm going to bring my own candy. I'm just going to shove it all down in my pocket.
Yeah.
Because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, you can stop down at the dollar store, and get that beforehand.
Right.
Lately, I like that. Oh, go ahead, Phil.
Oh, no, I said I like the Twizzlers, really, to tell you the truth. The Twizzlers are awesome.
Now, do you like the Twizzlers that are like spaghetti Twizzlers, or do you like the thick Twizzlers?
Oh, I like the thick Twizzlers. Like regular Twizzlers.
Okay.
That's it. I don't like that thin stuff.
You don't like the thin
ones,
licorice.
No, and the thing about the ones at the movie theaters is they make them thinner.
Okay.
And they charge you more.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now, Bonnie, do you like licorice?
Hate licorice.
Really?
To me, it's like eating a vinyl red car seat or a tire. Yes.
A vinyl red car seat.
Yeah. And whenever I see a Twizzler or licorice, it reminds me of the car seat in my mom and dad's old red Oldsmobile.
Oh, wow.
I just don't like it.
A red car seat.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the counter next time when I'm at the movies.
On that.
I hate licorice. That's how much I hate. You'll never see me buying licorice.
All right.
Man.
Not bad. Not
Yeah.
bad at all. Hey, Fredo.
Yo, what's up?
Can you get the band to play for me again? I want them to take us into the break for news.
Yeah, no problem.
All
Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
Thank you.
No problem. Hope you dig it.
Have a good day, too. Coming up on the news, folks, and then Sheriff William Snyder, Martin County Sheriff's Office, is going to be here. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. We'll let the Shy Guys play out and take us all the way to the news.
On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
.807, the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie, and as always, each and every Tuesday at this time, we have the one and only, the People's Sheriff, I like to refer to him as, because as he very strongly says, he works for the people, and that's what it's all about. Sheriff Willie Snyder from Martin County is joining us on our line right now. Good morning, Sheriff. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, Bonnie. Good morning, Evan. Martin County, good morning, and I'm great.
Good morning, Sheriff.
First and foremost, I always ask you at the beginning of every single conversation that we have, how are you, how is your family, and how is the extended family at the Sheriff's Office?
Our report hasn't changed since last week. My family's doing very well. I'm having my sixth grandchild is we're waiting for in a few months. And the Sheriff's Office, by God's good grace, we've had no reports of COVID-19, and it also is not in my jail, which I want to clarify that we're not bragging about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
We really feel extremely fortunate and blessed, and things could change in a moment. But as of now, that's where we are.
That's a beautiful thing, and that just goes to show you that your inmates are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Your deputies are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Everybody's practicing social distancing. They're keeping every area clean and green is what they're doing.
Yeah, we actually have these misting machines with the approved chemicals where we go by daily and spray down equipment, and we've done our very best. You know, you can only do your best, and then after that, you just have to have faith.
Before I get into my conversation about the beaches, Sheriff, I want to ask you, how are things going since everything is opened up at the actual Sheriff's Office with people coming down, going into the lobby? Is there an increased amount of foot traffic, or is it very slow?
We're seeing an increase. We haven't gone into full operation yet. We've slowed down just a bit. We talk to people when they come. Our deputy goes out, meets them at the door. We have a tent outside, and then we move their request around. Some people can be referred back to online and taken care of. We're doing everything we can. The one major thing we have not started yet, but it's coming, and that's our fingerprinting again. And people really need that service. You know, they're volunteers, or they're getting jobs, or CNAs or RNs working, and there's just so many people that need those fingerprinting. We're working hard to get that up again.
Do you ever think that someday down the road there's going to be an electronic device that people can buy somewhere available, and then there's a program people can log in and they can do their own fingerprinting at home, or that's not feasible?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely feasible. We have that technology now. Our road patrol deputies have portable fingerprint readers. I guess the problem there from an operational standpoint would be you have to be able to verify who actually fingerprints you're getting.
Yeah, that's true.
When you come into our lobby, you bring identification. We check you on the computer. We verify that you're Evan, and that you're volunteering to be a coach at Pop Warner, and by law you have to have fingerprints. And so we take your fingerprints and we verify that you are who you say you are.
Let's talk about one of the hottest topics that are out there, especially this past Saturday. Boy, the beaches were swamped. Unfortunately, you guys had to kind of put the nail down into the wood a little deeper, because the borders were kind of getting violated. People were coming from the south, coming from further south, and it just wasn't fair to the residents of Martin County.
Really what happened is, because we opened our beaches this week and then this weekend, we knew that Palm Beach, Dade, and Broward to our south, which weren't open, their people would come up here, and sure enough they did, because through the week, when we didn't have it restricted to Martin County only, it was open last week, we thought, from what we could tell, looked like about 60% of our beach goers were from out of county. And we knew by the weekend that would be untenable, that there wouldn't be parking, that we couldn't do the social distancing if all 3 or 4 counties came to one beach. So the commission voted unanimously to restrict it to Martin only. We put 25 deputies on the beach, and we made it work.
I think that's a great idea. Unlike a lot of other people are not happy with what you did, people have to understand the reason you did this was so the residents of Martin County could go and enjoy their local beach.
Well, that was the sole reason. We don't charge to go to the beach. I mean,
right.
There was no reason other than to make it so that Martin County residents could go to the beach. And you're right. We stirred up a hornet's nest. Frank Sorbino, who's the editorial writer in the Palm Beach Post, lit me up yesterday. Accused me of being the guy who was kicking people off of the Titanic, I think. And I laughed. I just, but they're mad. And there's a civil libertarian strain of politics to our country today.
Right.
I lean in that direction. Don't overregulate me. That just chase at the idea that they have to produce ID to go to what they consider, and rightfully so, as a public beach. It's a good point, but the point they carried was without those restrictions, it would have been pandemonium, out of control, no way to park, no way to social distance. The only alternative to wide open access was shut the beach. Then the county commission chose open the beach and restrict it.
Yeah, Sheriff, there was we saw in the news yesterday, there was complete pandemonium too in Naples, Fort Myers area, where they had opened their beaches and then they decided to close the beaches once again because so many people had gotten in that area and they were almost people on top of people. I mean, it was so packed in there that they thought there might be a reoccurrence of the coronavirus coming up again in that area. So it's strictly health issues sometime why people would make the important decisions.
The county commission here in Martin County made the exact right decision. Their choice to open it up without access or open it up with access, they chose the right. You could argue they should have kept the whole thing closed if you're extremely frightened about the coronavirus. I'm not advocating for that. I'm not a specialist in that. But I am well acquainted with public safety and what it takes to keep people safe. And we could not have that beach open with the county store south closed and expect anything but trouble.
Now, how are you checking to make sure that everybody's a resident? That's another thing that people need to be aware of when they go to the beach.
We created turn lanes at both major access, the Jensen and Stewart Beach access, and we just asked people to show an ID. We weren't doing in-depth checking. If one person in the car had their ID and they showed it, boom, we were in. We had no backups at our access points. We had a few people from out of county who wanted to push it and pull in there and argue with us. But that's what we do for a living, and it worked out. Nobody got arrested. Nobody got in trouble. People from Martin County got to go to the beach. People from Palm Beach got to be mad at me, and life goes on.
Another question, and you brought it up too. You said you weren't checking IDs on everybody. What happens in the case and I know you're leaning on this, but what happens in the case you do check the ID on one person and they have a Martin County, but the other 5 people are from Palm Beach County? You don't know that, and of course, none of your deputies are mind readers, but let's say somebody comes up and they do the old snitch thing where they say, "Hey, did you know that guy over there has got 5 people from Palm Beach County with him?"
Yeah, we were told to have a nice day. That we didn't get into that kind of weeds. It was pretty simple. People from Palm Beach County all had Palm Beach ID.
Mm-hmm.
If you were from Martin County and you invited your friends to go to the beach with you and you showed your ID, it worked out. We could not possibly get into the weeds like that.
Yeah,
with thousands of cars that were coming and going.
Right.
That was not practical. And that wasn't the spirit of what we were doing. And the way we did it, our methodology, made it so that the vast majority of out-of-county people didn't get into the parking lot. And the people that did were from here.
Now, on Sunday, Mother's Day, was the beach also crowded as well besides Saturday?
No, the weather shut it down. Sunday, I was there almost all morning Saturday. Sunday, I didn't. And,
okay.
But the weather was was atrocious over there, and there was no crowds. We let our extra duty people, some of them went home early.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Saturday was like definitely the beach day this past
Oh,
weekend if you wanted to go.
Yeah, I'm not a beach person. That's where you, but if you were, that was the day. It was gorgeous out there. The water, there wasn't a wave. The water was clean. People had plenty of space. I'll tell you this, maybe closing on this point, the people from Martin that went to the beach were universally thankful we did what we did.
Good.
Yeah.
Definitely so. Off the beach topic and on to one other thing I wanted to ask you about. We've gotten through the first week of phase 1. We're into week number 2, I do believe. The hair salons are opening up. Some other things are opening up. How was last week as far as from a law-abiding perspective of things? How did week 1 go for Martin County?
It was universally unremarkable and no troubles. We do get some complaints. You know, somebody will go and say, well, hey, there's more people in the restaurant than there's supposed to. We created a call center of sheriff's deputies, some of whom are on light duty because they're injured, they're workers' comp cases. So we take those calls reporting a restaurant that's overused or over capacity, and we refer it to our call center. The call center calls the restaurant, explains the statute. We leave it at that. If we get a repeat call, we can refer it to Department of Business and Professional Regulations, DBPR. We have taken a very soft-handed approach. You know, my philosophy is these restaurants are dying. They need to get back to work. I'm not going in there and counting heads, right? We're just not going to do that.
Right.
I would have to agree with you, Sheriff.
That your
Wow.
deputies would go crazy if they had to walk into each restaurant. It's being done on the honor system, and so far, so good. Everybody is abiding by what the governor has said. Correct?
Oh yeah, and notwithstanding the editorial board in Palm Beach County accusing me of throwing people off the Titanic, we really do. My heart goes out to these business owners. They put their life, blood, sweat, and tears into these businesses. And for government to come with a heavy hand and count noses, I find that a deplorable thought, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah, well, as you know, Frank Sarabino, he's had that column forever and a day, and he definitely likes lighting people up. But Frank, if you're listening, leave our sheriff alone, please. He's doing his job, and he's doing the right thing for the folks of Martin County. I said it publicly. There you go.
I have no anxiety with Frank Sarabino. I thought it was a funny article. He's fine.
Sheriff, in closing, what would you like to say to our listeners out there?
I look, however you pray or think or cross your fingers, however you implore the spirit, let's just pray that this continues to unfold in our direction, that the virus doesn't spike again, that we can get back to business, our children can go to school when the time comes, and that we can get back to enjoying life as we've come to know it in Martin County.
Amen to that, Sheriff. Thank
Amen.
you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you, your family, and your entire staff at Martin County.
Same thing.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. There you go. You heard it first from the sheriff of Martin County. Always a pleasure to have that guy on.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe Frank Sarabino lit him up. Wow. That's not cool.
It's tough being.
I have to have a conversation
it's
with
tough
that guy.
having to be the tough decision maker.
Yeah,
and-
well, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you do.
8:20 right now. News time. Let's go to the National News Desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The number of coronavirus cases in Florida is approaching 41,000. The death toll statewide is now at 1,735 after another 14 fatalities were reported yesterday. But there's good news in the latest testing for COVID-19 in Florida.
The percent positive rate for just phase 1 counties for the reports today, 1.43% of the new tests came back positive.
Governor Ron DeSantis speaking in Fort Myers at his latest coronavirus update. Martin County has been increasing efforts to curb the number of cases in specific areas that have emerged as potential COVID-19 hotspots. At least 2 communities in particular are showing higher concentrations of cases. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the details.
Well, one of these communities with more concentrated cases is right here. It's known as the Monterey section near Canner Highway and Monterey Road. You can see there are signs in this community telling people how they can stay safe in both English and Spanish. But county leaders really just want to make it easier for residents here to just stay home. While you still see some people spending time outdoors,
I'm staying in my home and not talk to my neighbors.
people who live in what many refer to as the Monterey section say it's quieter than usual.
I'm scared.
People who live in these homes are trying to avoid catching or spreading COVID-19.
Mostly staying inside.
County leaders confirmed this community of nearly 100 homes nestled between Monterey Road and Canner Highway is approaching 10 COVID-19 cases. Law enforcement officers have been told to take extra precautions when responding to calls here.
I wash my hands and wash my dog.
When I heard about it, I just I'm staying inside because I don't feel like getting sick.
County agencies like Martin County Fire Rescue have been bringing them food so they don't have to go to the grocery store.
My reaction was it's good to bring food for us.
When I come in on site and I see the food and everything bring to me, I don't know who, but thank you and God bless.
Health leaders say cases are beginning to stabilize in the Monterey section. Now more efforts are ramping up in a second area of concern, the entire village of Indiantown. 90 cases have been confirmed in the village, so residents here are also getting meals delivered to them to keep them away from stores. Testing is also ramping up with at least 5 free COVID-19 testing sites set to be open by Tuesday. Indiantown remains the only Treasure Coast community to require face masks when in public. The 90 cases there jumped from 77 just yesterday. Reporting in Martin County, I'm Megan McRoberts. Back to you.
And it's been a week since Phase 1 began on the Treasure Coast. On Monday, WPTV's John Shaman checked in on businesses and hospitals to get a progress report as Florida looks to recover from the economic crisis.
In downtown Fort Pierce, Roslow's has been a retail institution for 70 years. Owner Greg Roslow was pleased with last week's sales.
We weren't sure how it was going to go. And I think the impetus of Mother's Day, and we typically do a reasonably good business for Mother's Day.
Beyond retail, one industry that hopes to see more people is the healthcare industry. We spoke with hospital leaders today who remind you that if you don't feel well, get yourself checked out.
It's important that people understand the use of masks and social distancing.
Dr. Michael Bakerman, Chief Medical Officer at Longwood Regional Medical Center, says Phase 1 allowed them to restart elective surgical procedures.
We know that patients have choice and doctors have choice. So we want them to be able to come to a very safe environment where the patients have confidence that they can get the care they need.
I think that patients that were scared to come in previously are definitely starting to come in.
Dr. Josephine Mathai, the emergency room director at St. Lucie Medical Center, says temperature checks are taken outside the hospital and there's universal mask use inside.
Honestly, long term, waiting with symptoms at home, you're going to have a poorer outcome.
Doctors say there's going to be some element of risk until there's a vaccine, and smart individual choices will go a long way.
We want them to feel comfortable that they can come in and shop.
Back at Roslow's,
we don't expect people to come flooding back right away. We think it will be a process over time.
A process they hope can keep them in business another 7 decades. In St. Lucie County, John Shainman.
And lastly, a man from Michigan is recovering from serious injuries after being run over by a cop on a Gulf Coast beach. Authorities say 66-year-old William Cazares was laying on a beach in Indian Shores when the left tires of Officer Natasha Hinman's Ford Explorer ran over his hips. It's not clear what discipline the officer might face. Good news in sports. The Miami Dolphins have their man, former Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, has inked his first contract. Now, the 4-year deal is worth more than $30 million. Tua was the Dolphins' top draft pick in last month's NFL draft. News time is 8:26. Weather and traffic together are next.
8:28 the time right now. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. All brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
No accidents to report right now. You can expect a nice ride. The major highways are clear. Just for that, look for that road construction southbound on U.S. Highway. Let's look at traffic. We are up to 75 here in Stuart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on Treasure Coast, it is warmer and breezier along the coast and cooler and calmer inland. It's inland patchy fog is possible. This afternoon, warm and windy with high temperatures in the low 80s under partly to mostly sunny skies. Winds will remain gusty out of the northeast and rain chances are very low today. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
$8:31 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. Time to go to outer space in another place where Randy Siegel is standing by with the latest and greatest news of what's happening in another world. Randy?
Good morning, sir. Well, we talk about the COVID-19 virus, and NASA has done something about it. Yep, NASA put its unique skills together in the workforce, and they've come up with a ventilator intervention technology assembly, or called VITAL. This was designed by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory engineers in 37 days. That's right. The instrument will help people breathe better who contract the COVID-19 virus. And it shows that NASA is able to produce a lot more than just space. They have spent some time working on the new ventilator, which is a positive pressure helmet for patients experiencing minor respiratory symptoms, and a portable surface decontamination device. Congress is applauding NASA for using their brain power to help during this pandemic. Well, we talk about Congress, and tomorrow we're going to give you a report on how, in a bipartisan bill, Charlie Crist, along with Representative Bill Posey, one Democrat, one Republican, are introducing a new bill to sustain our space program into the future. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. The astronauts on board the International Space Station are continuing their science work as they've completed 3 full weeks of their 195-day mission. They have more space for themselves now that the other crew has left. So there's not a crew of 6 on board, only the crew of 3 that are there right now. Scientists have been working on an experiment to understand the solidification process in alloys and are taking organic compounds to the space station as analogous with experiments, which allows microgravity to work on transparent alloys and allows them to observe the formation unaffected by convection at the microscopic resolution. The behavior of foams was also in the spotlight. The foam coarseness experiment started the space campaign to better understand how bubbles evolve in microgravity. In space, foams are quite stable because there is no drainage in weightlessness. This allows scientists to study the slower phenomenon of a bubble becoming bigger and eventually bursting. Also, they're doing experiments to help NASA's astronauts, because on average, astronauts in space lose 1% of their bone density a month due to the weightlessness that they're living in. Studying what happens during long stays in space offers a good insight into osteoporosis. The Russians, Anatoly Ivanushin and Ivan Wagner, ran their first session of the European experiment EDOS to help scientists understand the effects of spaceflight on bone and how it recovers when they return to Earth. Another very interesting experiment going on the International Space Station is studying heart tissue and seeing how the heart tissue actually works. A team on the station recently sent 3D beating heart tissue aboard the station. And working with a microgravity glove box, they're able to learn how the heart works better and whether they'll be able to produce cells on the station that eventually will be able to be used, that type of therapy on Earth, to help treat patients with heart problems. Astronaut Rusakov and Sud Savashikov and probably NASA astronaut Mike Bowen will probably fly on the MS-17 Soyuz spacecraft. They'll be flying as a replacement for cosmonauts Tikhonov and Babkin, who will eventually get their ride on the next vehicle. One of the big things is who will be the commander of the Soyuz when Tom Cruise flies to the International Space Station. We still have no idea who that will be or exactly when. It should take place sometime next year for that mission for Tom Cruise, who wants to have a movie produced in space in weightlessness. They're working with a new experiment on the exterior of one of the modules in the space station. On the exterior, they're working with a new HDEV experiment, which talks about the longevity of cameras and space involvement. The payload was put at the end of one of the modules in order to allow it to be free flying in space to give them a better understanding of what's happening. The Northrop Grumman Cygnus spacecraft, which was released yesterday from the International Space Station, is now free-flying, and it'll remain free-flying for another few days. Then it will be deorbited, and before it's deorbit and the trash that was put inside of it is destroyed, there'll be several small satellites that will be launched from that particular vehicle. So another success for Northrop Grumman in that particular field. It has been confirmed that China's carrier rocket for the L5 launch vehicle re-entered the Earth's atmosphere over the Atlantic. And even though it was a huge, large, major piece of debris, it had no effect on Earth. It was actually deorbited just to the east of the African coast. So another lucky break for China. China, meanwhile, launched 2 new satellites into orbit in their Internet of Things. That's the name of it. The IoT, it's communication technology. China is trying to learn how to communicate and have inter-satellite laser communications at a low-cost commercial satellite platform. China used a very low-cost solid fuel rocket, the KZ-1A, to launch their vehicle into space. NASA has selected an official with the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration to work with them in their science division. Thomas Zurbuchen, NASA's Associate Administrator for Science, announced on the 5th that the agency has hired Karen St. Germain as its new director of NASA's Earth Science Division. St. Germain will formally take over on June the 8th. Currently, she's the Deputy Assistant Administrator for Systems at NOAA's National Environmental Satellite Data and Information Service, which operates their fleet of weather satellites. Lastly, we want to tell you that Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran says that they have the ability to place satellites into geosynchronous orbit. Tomorrow we'll tell you more about NASA's space plane and about some of the costs at the Vyazhny Space Center in eastern Russia. And have a great day, everybody.
That's your daily dose of space from another place with Randy Siegel. He's on the program each and every weekday, Monday through Friday at 8:30. Gives us all the latest and greatest news about NASA. Time to head on over to LA's downtown deli, where Bonnie's standing by with the latest and greatest food that's going to literally make your stomach turn in a good way. Bonnie?
Yes, Evan, and Ellie's Deli, they have hot bowls of soup, and you can go over there for lunch. 2 different kinds of soup are made fresh each and every morning. Try that with a Applewood baked ham melt. This is on a toasted roll. It's topped with thick sliced ham, honey mustard, sauteed peppers and onion, some tomato, some Munster cheese on there, all pressed hot, served with a side item of your choice. Keep in mind, Ellie's Deli also serving Mrs. Peter's smoked fish dip. So enjoy it, served over a bed of lettuce with chopped onion, tomato, jalapenos, and crackers. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stewart is open with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's is also making dinners with a full menu available for any number of guests you might have. Remember, they also have fabulous desserts as well. Give them a call at 772-781-6605 to order or pick up. They're located 18 Southeast 6th Street in downtown Stuart, just off Colorado. Call them at 772-781-6605. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
Time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold opening up at $1,699.40 an ounce, and silver $15.44 an ounce. 8:43 the time right now. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's go to the National News Desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan. Martin County has been increasing efforts to curb the number of cases in specific areas that have emerged as potential COVID-19 hotspots. At least 2 communities in particular are showing higher concentrations of cases. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the details.
Well, one of these communities with more concentrated cases is right here. It's known as the Monterey section near Canner Highway and Monterey Road. You can see there are signs in this community telling people how they can stay safe in both English and Spanish, but county leaders really just want to make it easier for residents here to just stay home. While you still see some people spending time outdoors,
I'm staying in my home and not talk to my neighbors.
people who live in what many refer to as the Monterey section say it's quieter than usual.
I'm scared.
People who live in these homes are trying to avoid catching or spreading COVID-19.
Mostly staying inside.
County leaders confirm this community of nearly 100 homes nestled between Monterey Road and Canner Highway is approaching 10 COVID-19 cases. Law enforcement officers have been told to take extra precautions when responding to calls here.
I wash my hands and wash my dog.
When I heard about it, I just I'm staying inside because I don't feel like getting sick.
County agencies like Martin County Fire Rescue have been bringing them food so they don't have to go to the grocery store.
My reaction was it's good to bring food for us.
When I come in on site and I see the food and everything bring to me, I don't know who, but thank you and God bless.
Health leaders say cases are beginning to stabilize in the Monterey section. Now more efforts are ramping up in a second area of concern, the entire village of Indiantown. 90 cases have been confirmed in the village, so residents here are also getting meals delivered to them to keep them away from stores. Testing is also ramping up with at least 5 free COVID-19 testing sites set to be open by Tuesday. Indiantown remains the only Treasure Coast community to require face masks when in public. The 90 cases there jumped from 77 just yesterday. Reporting in Martin County, I'm Megan McRoberts. Back to you.
It's been a week since Phase 1 began on the Treasure Coast. On Monday, WPTV's John Shaman checked in on businesses and hospitals to get a progress report as Florida looks to recover from the economic crisis.
In downtown Fort Pierce, Roslow's has been a retail institution for 70 years. Owner Greg Roslow was pleased with last week's sales.
We weren't sure how it was going to go. And I think the impetus of Mother's Day, and we typically do a reasonably good business for Mother's Day.
Beyond retail, one industry that hopes to see more people is the healthcare industry. We spoke with hospital leaders today who remind you that if you don't feel well, get yourself checked out.
It's important that people understand the use of masks and social distancing.
Dr. Michael Bakerman, Chief Medical Officer at Longwood Regional Medical Center, says Phase 1 allowed them to restart elective surgical procedures.
We know that patients have choice and doctors have choice. So we want them to be able to come to a very safe environment where the patients have confidence that they can get the care they need.
I think that patients that were scared to come in previously are definitely starting to come in.
Dr. Josephine Mathai, the emergency room director at St. Lucie Medical Center, says temperature checks are taken outside the hospital and there's universal mask use inside.
Honestly, long term, waiting with symptoms at home, you're going to have a poorer outcome.
Doctors say there's going to be some element of risk until there's a vaccine, and smart individual choices will go a long way.
We want them to feel comfortable that they can come in and shop.
Back at Roslow's,
we don't expect people to come flooding back right away. We think it will be a process over time.
A process they hope can keep them in business another 7 decades. In St. Lucie County, John Shaman.
And lastly, as Florida begins to reopen, the overwhelming concern among parents heading back to work is who will take care of their children for the remainder of the summer. WPTV's Derek Lowe stopped by the Boys and Girls Club in St. Lucie County to see what measures they are taking to keep children safe.
13? I mean, it's nice to know that they get to come somewhere.
Amber Guylog is part of the Boys and Girls Club staff in Port St. Lucie. She is also a mother of 3 and says with the precautions they're taking at this year's summer camp, she's not worried about her kids.
They may not like it, but I put them in a mask.
Inside, you'll see staff cleaning equipment after each use and markers on the floor and the hallways.
The Civic Center staff actually had a tool that walked off the distances between all the tables so they know exactly what 6 feet were.
And when kids come in, temperatures will be taken before heading to one of 20 different rooms where no more than 10 people are allowed.
The more we learn about this, the more we'll be able to teach our kids exactly what this is.
Now, when parents come to drop off their kids here at the Mid-Florida Event Center, these tents right here will be as far as they are allowed to go. They will not be allowed inside the building here. The Boys and Girls Club of St. Lucie County does currently have a wait list, but they do still encourage parents who are interested in dropping their kids off for summer camp to sign up online. We've got information on how to do that over on our website. For now, reporting in Port St. Lucie, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV News Channel 5.
And now this. Someone dug up an old interview with Kobe Bryant where he said he almost signed with the Wizards in 2002 just to play with Michael Jordan. He said, quote, "I've always been very big on having mentors and being around guys who have done it before," and added that it would have meant he could be around Michael every day and learn from him. Obviously, it never happened, so we can only guess how well they would have meshed. But Kobe predicted it would have gone well because they both refused to lose. News time is 8:49. Weather and traffic together are next.
$8:50 the time right now. The Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, we don't have any traffic accidents to report right now in St. Lucie County, Martin County. Expect a nice ride. No slowdowns. There's your latest look at traffic. 74, sunshine in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is warmer and breezier along the coast and cooler and calmer inland. And some inland patchy fog is possible. This afternoon, warm and windy with high temperatures in the low 80s under partly to mostly sunny skies. Winds will remain gusty out of the northeast and rain chances are very low today. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
$8:54 the time right now, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. And without further ado, we head to the home office of Phil's Notebook and Phil Benfield, where he's standing by with today's top 10 list. Phil?
Good morning. And from the home office of Yeehaw Junction, Florida, top 10 least popular supermarket chains. Top 10 least popular supermarket chains. And we're starting to figure out some of these little chains that are out there.
Okay.
So here's your top 10 least popular supermarket chains. Number 10, Pick and Poke. Number 9, Larva Town.
Oh, gosh.
Number 8, Food Crypt. Number 7, Price Hiker. Number 6, Riskies.
Riskies. Okay.
Number 5, Oprah's Grocery Rodeo.
Okay.
Number 4, the expiration date grab bag.
That's a good one.
Number 3, I'm not wearing pantry. Make up your own joke with that.
Thank you.
Number 2, the rancid meat butcher. And number 1, bag this. And there's your top 10 list.
Bag this. All right. Oh, we have a phone call right now, Phil, so let's go to the phone lines.
All righty.
Hi, you're on the air with the Get Up and Go show. Who's this?
Well, hey, what's going on down there, guys?
Oh, it's the old man down the road. He is resurfaced.
Yes, I'm up here with your buddy George, and Edna's packing the camper up because we're going to start heading to Yeehaw Junction next.
Oh, boy. Phil, you better lock the doors because the old man down the road is coming up the road to you.
Well, I'll inform the home office that you're coming.
Oh, okay. Well, I had to get out there and fix the outhouse because I kind of blew it up a little bit.
I bet you did.
Oh!
He blew up his outhouse trying to make possum in there.
Yeah.
Well, it's more than possum that came out.
Okay. Next topic. So what kind of RV are you riding in?
One on wheels.
Okay. Well, old man, I think you need to get back to packing up your RV, so we're going to let you go on that one. Say goodnight, old man.
I'll see you later, Phil. Good night, old man.
All right. I'll see you later. I'll let the home office know that you're on your way.
Yeah.
They have a great tour of the home office.
Yes. Make sure.
I
All
would
right,
be afraid of him heading down toward you, Phil.
Yeah, I'd
like-
lock the doors. All right, Phil. Time to play a round of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader between you and
Alrighty.
Bonnie. You know how the game works. We'll start off with you, Phil. If you get it right, you get control. If not, Bonnie gets a chance to get control and get a point. So here we go. Question number 1. Phil, what form of transportation was once called the Iron Horse? Is it A, the train, B, the car, or C, the cruise ship?
The car.
The car, and incorrect.
Yeah.
Bonnie?
It was the train.
Correct. Bonnie's got a point. Plants don't make seeds reproduce by forming what? A, chlorophyll, B, flower, or C, spores?
Oh, it just got quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, was it my turn?
Yeah, it
Because-
was your.
Oh,
You got the question right,
I'm
Bonnie.
sorry, I spaced that out.
That's okay.
I'm going to go with the spores. See?
Correct. Bonnie's got 2. Control is in Bonnie's hands. What country did Gandhi lead to independence from British rule? A, Afghanistan, B, India, or C, Egypt?
It would have been B, India, Evan.
Correct. Bonnie's got 3. We
Wow.
use the abbreviation etc. to mean etc. What language does etc. come from? Is it A, Italian, B, Latin, or C, English?
I'm going to say that would be C, English.
Incorrect. Phil, you have a chance to get control.
B, Latin.
Correct. Lastly, Phil, which of the following is not a carnivore? A, a lion, B, a wolf, or C, a bull?
A bull.
Correct. But unfortunately, Bonnie wins. Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
And that's no bull.
And that's no bull. Bonnie, you've been very full of yourself today. Form.
I guess so.
All right.
Hey, Phil, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Thursday on
You
the Get
got
Up
it.
and Go show. Say goodnight, Phil.
Good night.
Have a good day, y'all. Have a good day, Phil.
Good night, guys.
As we say, chow mein
Honduras.
and Arriva Dirty in the words of Ellen DeGeneres. See you on tomorrow's edition of the Get Up and Go show. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. Oh, I forgot to say goodbye to Fredo. Say goodnight, Fredo. Well, Fredo must be gone. Okay. He must have left the building.
He says, I'm out of here.
He says, I'm out of here. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you on Wednesday.